Hey, 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 today is National Trail Mix Day. Yes, no joke, it's National Trail Mix Day. And I have to admit, I recall trail mix back in the day because I'm kind of old, you know? I remember it used to be peanuts and raisins, and sometimes maybe there'd be some granola mixed in there. These days, there's candy, M&Ms, there's pieces of like beef jerky. There might even be fish heads in it. I don't know. To me, trail mix doesn't look like trail mix anymore. But I can say there is something that's going to look very familiar to most of you out there, and that is the Daily Dope being in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer. I'm back once again as your host here at the Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. Otherwise, the Grand Poobah. So today is Friday, August 31st. It's the last day of August 2018. And I've got something a little unusual. Normally, I don't look at two games in one show. But because today was such a really extremely slow gaming news day, now granted, there were a couple of news pieces out there that I thought I was kind of up in the air on. I thought, they can wait until next week. But because when I do news, normally what makes the cut as far as news, both on the Daily Dope as well as on thegaminggang.com, I look at, is this something that kind of piques my interest? Is this something that I would probably want to play? If not, I also look and think, okay, so is this something that a lot of other people will probably want to check out or need to be aware of? And, you know, everybody knows there's a lot of crap out there as far as the tabletop gaming hobby. And most of the news I ran across today was for kind of crap. Anyway, so what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to do two unboxings. I am going to first take a look at War Chest from Alderac Entertainment Group. It is an abstract strategy war game, so I'm going to take a look at that. And then as an added bonus, I'm going to unbox and take a look at Terraforming Mars Prelude from FryxGames as well as Stronghold Games. So both of these have just come out. I think I had heard that War Chest was actually arriving in stores today. I don't know if that's accurate because games don't usually hit stores on Fridays. It's usually Tuesday or Wednesday. Like comics are on Wednesdays, right? But, and I know Terraforming Mars Prelude has just come out. So both of these are going to be available. But before I jump into the unboxing, I do want to mention that this is a live stream. I know a vast majority of people watch the shows after they've streamed. But if you are watching live, there is chat available on YouTube. It is not on screen. It's one of the ways that I kind of keep some of the stranger commenters at bay. But I do keep an eye on the chat. So if you want to just say hello, or if you have a question or comment, or you want to see something about Terraforming Mars Prelude or War Chest a little closer up, by all means, type it out. I will see it and I will respond. All right, so first off, I'm going to be taking a look at War Chest, which I mentioned already. It is from Alderac Entertainment Group. It's designed by Trevor Benjamin and David Thompson, with artwork provided by Brigitte, I believe it's Brigitte, in Delicato. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. The game is for 2 or 4 players. It's not for 3, it's for 2 or 4, ages 14 and up. Plays in about 30 minutes, and as I mentioned, the game was hitting stores this week. It was either already earlier this week or it is today, and it does carry an MSRP of $49.99. So I'm going to flip on over to the other camera here. There we go. So this is War Chest. It is a pretty meaty box. I've already kind of slit the shrink wrap here with my hobby knife. So, let me toss on ye old reading specs. So, it says, Can you master the game of kings, queens, and warriors and lead your armies to victory in this beautifully crafted game of tactics and strategy? War Chess is a simple to learn yet highly replayable strategy game where the players each control armies of unique units. It combines drafting with an elegant army composition mechanic. War Chess challenges you to develop alternate strategies to recruit more troops, offset your losses, and outmaneuver your opponent in order to defeat them. I understand this also has a bit of a bag building mechanic to it. So as I've been mentioning, as I've been working my way up to this show today, I did get to see this demoed a little bit at Gen Con, not a lot. I do have kind of an idea of how it plays, so I will kind of mention that as far as what I understand. So we've got a bit of a magnet here keeping the box closed, so we'll get this opened up. Oh, so this is kind of cool. So it says, on the day of his child's birth, the leader of the kingdom received gifts from dignitaries, well-wishers, and counselors. The king's greatest friend had been an old general who had advised him and helped him protect his kingdom. He handed the young father a chest. "This is not for you, my king. This is for your child." He smiled, but there was a tiredness behind his eyes. "We have built a great kingdom, and these old eyes know that you will continue to rule it with honor and strength. But there will come a day when rule will be passed on to this young one." He looked back at the court full of dignitaries from other kingdoms. "I have taught you all I can, and it is my belief that you have proven to your allies and your enemies that your kingdom is not to be tested. The respect you have won will not be given to your children, it will be earned. In this simple chess is everything a leader needs to become a strategist in general. It will be seen as a game by the child, but in truth, is preparation for ruling the land and surviving the tests of battle that will surely come when it is time to inherit your kingdom. You hold in your hand a replica of this gift, a game of coins played by kings, queens, and warriors." All right, that's kind of interesting. All right, so we've got the rule book here. Let's see what we've got. I assume this is going to be pretty short. So we're looking at, it says, in War Chess, you take on the role of medieval battlefield commanders vying to gain control of tactical battlefield locations. So talking about the components, showing the unit card anatomy, showing that we've got the 4 bags, initiative marker, royal coins, unit cards, and control markers. So it's showing the setup for the game and showing kind of an example. So it's actually, pointing out that your first game, they recommend that you use the units as shown as opposed to drafting them or randomly just dealing them out. One of the cool things that I thought stood out about War Chess when I saw it being demoed was that there are 16 unique units. As I already mentioned, it's kind of a medieval age. And out of these 16 units, if you're playing, it doesn't matter how many players you're playing. If you're playing 2 or 4, each player is going to get 4 of the units, and they will be unique to that player. So for an example, like we have the swordsman here. Well, player A in this example has swordsman. The other player won't have it. They won't have that unit. Just like in a 4-player game, one player would have the swordsman and the other players do not. So I thought that was kind of cool. All right, so it's talking about how to get set up, how to play, drawing coins and using coins. So I believe you're going to start off with just maybe like a couple of units that are on the board. So you actually have to spend these coins to actually do stuff with your units, as well as use those coins to recruit new units. So I was talking about using coins placement actions, discarding a coin face down, discarding a coin face up. It's showing the royal coins. So for an example, in a 4-player game, 2 players are going to make up one faction, one side, and then the other 2 will make up another side. So it's not a 4-player free-for-all as far as I understand. So talking about placing actions, deploying, bolstering, claiming initiative, recruiting, and passing. movement, showing how to move the units. It's a hexagonal board. I should say it's marked out in hexes. Excuse me, still got that bronchitis. It's still lingering around. It has not completely gone away just yet. It's not terrible, though. Thankfully, it's not keeping me up at night, coughing like a lunatic. So showing, talking about control, attacking, attributes and restrictions, advanced setup, 4-player setup, flow of the game, team interaction, ending the game. Setups inspired by famous battles. Hey, that's cool. Battle of Creasy, Battle of Bannockburn, I should say. If I remember right, I think the Battle of Creasy, that's one of the first battles that the English longbowmen really showed off their mettle against the armored knights of the French. Frequently asked questions, and then credits. So 18 pages of rules, but I mean, really, we're looking at, we go just to 2 players. We're kind of looking at 11 pages, and there are some examples. There's some images as well. So definitely not something that's going to be very difficult to wrap your head around. Okay, so we're going to go in, and this is the tray that's going to have the chips, the units, because the units are almost like, I don't believe they're made of the same material as poker chips, but I think they are a heavy plastic. So we've got the war chest cards. So we're going to look at those in just a sec. We've got some pretty sweet bags. So we see these 2 bags here have the symbols of the one side, the one team. That's pretty cool. Like a raven, something like that on there. And then we've got this other one which shows a wolf. So we've got those. So nice material. Very, very, very nicely done. Love how this is stitched in. Very cool. And we got the board. We're going to take a look at the board in a sec. Then we've got the coins. So these are the royal coins. And you'll see that we've got the royal coins for the faction with the wolf, and then the faction with the raven. I'm guessing that's a raven. Could be any sort of bird. And they are dual-sided here. Okay, and then we've got the units. And there's a lot of heft. There's a lot of heft to this right here. These might actually be made out of the material of that they make poker chips out of. So let's see how easy it's going to be to take this apart. Probably not super easy. Well, there we go. You know what? These might actually be made out of... Are they plastic? I don't know. It's got a lot of heft to it. It could be plastic. It's very possible it's plastic, but got quite a bit of heft to it. So we see we've got the units here. So are there 5 of each? I don't know. So this is one of the unit types. And we see that we've got 2 sides to them. So this is face down, that's face up. All right, so we've got, looks like axemen here. There are 4 of those. Let's see what we got here. Got a castle. Looks like there's 5 of those. Now, of course, I don't know what these are supposed to represent. All right, so there's another axeman. So it looks like there's 5 of each. These look like these are probably spearmen. So I got those. Let's see what else. What else we got cooking in here? Okay, so that's kind of strange. For a second, I thought this was like a musical instrument, but as I looked closer, it's a sword, kind of like shoved through a money bag. It looks like there's some coins sitting there. I'm I'm not sure what those are. Okay, so we got the 5 of them. So we got those. We've got, I believe those were swordsmen we saw before. I think these are the swordsmen. Just like that. I would think obviously enough, right? Because they've got crossed swords on them. I would take a guess this is cavalry. Maybe this is like light cavalry. So we got those. Huh. Oh, and then we got flag here, or a banner. Not sure what that represents. Of course, we'll find out when we look through those cards. Alright, come on. There we go. Okay, so here, these might be... This might be heavy cavalry. That's a possibility there. Or medium cavalry if we've got a bunch of different cavalry. Okay. Okay, so now it looks like we may have some of these units that only have 4. So, for an example, there's only 4 of these. Now, these could possibly be pikemen, although that should be longer for a pike. Don't know. Archers of some sort here. You can tell right there, those are archers. I would take a guess. I was going to say knights, but usually most games would show knights being mounted. So, and then we've got this symbol here, which I have no clue. No clue whatsoever what those are. Okay, but there's only 4 of each of these, strangely enough. So I wonder if we've got one of each in this pile here. All right, come on. Why does the last one have to be difficult? Why are you making my life difficult here? There we go. The old handy-dandy hobby knife. Okay, so... So we've got... I wonder, I think this is probably the initiative marker showing who's got the initiative. Is it this side, or is it this side? That's just a guess. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, so that's showing that. That's showing this. Alright, so we've got crossbowmen. I can tell you that right there. I guarantee you those are crossbowmen. It's got that. There's 5 of those. I'm not sure what these 2 guys are. Oh, no. Let's make that 5 of these. So we've got the 5 of these. Maybe those are scouts? I'm not sure. Absolutely no idea. So, I do believe that you're supposed to place the... You're supposed to place these in like so. In fact, I guess we might as well slide this back on top. So let me kind of get these in here. That's kind of strange that some of these were only 4 and some have 5. So we'll have to find out what the deal with that is. I'm just putting all this stuff back in like this because I'm also going to be unboxing the Terraforming Mars Prelude, so I mean I need to get this out of the way. I guess that goes like that. Actually, I can tell right now that I should just be putting each of the unit types in here. Yeah, but it looks like we've got some room for more, so just in case we get some expansions coming out. Okay, so let me move this off to the side. I'll kind of show off the board here. The board's not real big, so and I might actually zoom out to kind of show off the board in case I can't get it all in here. Yeah, let me zoom out. Let me zoom back out. There we go. All right, so as you can see here, the way it's supposed to set up is move this. So each of the players will actually be like placing their coins down here. So when they're using their coins to recruit or they're doing different things with the coins, like I said, I don't, I only got to see a little bit of the demo. I didn't get to actually check out all the rules and that. But you'll be like placing coins down like to seize initiative and to recruit and to actually move your units. And then I believe that each of these spaces on the board holds some significance. So I take a look here. They might be worth different victory points because we see the symbols here actually have, like there's that bird. This one has the wolf. These don't have any indications. So I'm taking a guess that these are supposed to maybe represent cities. And these might be just strategic locations you're trying to hold. So that's the board here. Like I said, not a big board. Don't need tons and tons of room to play this. All right, and then let's look at the unit cards, because I'm kind of curious. Oh, let's zoom back in. Let's get back in. There we go. That should be good. So I'm kind of curious what some of those were. Okay, so those guys were footmen. So that's what they were. Aha, yeah, figured those were archers. Aha, cavalry, like I thought. Yep, there we go, light cavalry. Crossbowmen. Okay, so as we take a look here, I know, I'm just zipping through. So, like light cavalry, their special ability is they can move 2 spaces. So it's showing what they can do. Cavalry can move and then attack. Archers attack a unit 2 spaces away. The intervening space may be occupied by a unit. Got the footmen. Perform 1 maneuver with each footman unit on the board. It says 2 footman units can be deployed at a time. Crossbowmen attack a unit 2 spaces away in a straight line. The intervening space cannot contain a unit. So ensigns. And I see here it's showing how many, right? So cavalry is showing there are 4. Light cavalry 5. So I guess there are units that are supposed to only have 4. So an ensign, choose a friendly unit within 2 spaces of the ensign. The chosen unit performs a normal move to a space within 2 spaces of the ensign. The knight. There you go. So it is a knight. The knight can only be attacked by units that are bolstered. Not sure what that might mean. Lancers. There you go. Move 1 or 2 spaces, then attack. All in a straight line. Marshal. That's what that guy is. He's a marshal. Choose a friendly unit that's within 2 spaces of the marshal. Then the chosen unit attacks, if able. Mercenaries. That's why we got the sword through the money bag. After you recruit a mercenary, you may maneuver your mercenary unit. The Berserkers. After Berserker maneuvers, you may maneuver it again by discarding a bolstered bolstered coin from the Berserker unit. You may not do this multiple times, but you may not remove the final coin. Huh. There you go. Those guys are pikemen. Scout. That's what that was with the bird. The scout may be deployed adjacent to a friendly unit. Ah, so those were the Royal Guard. That's what that little kind of castle symbol with the spear going through it. When the Royal Guard is attacked, you may remove a Royal Guard coin from the supply rather than from its unit. There we go. Those are the swordsmen. After the swordsman attacks, it may move. And warrior priests. Okay, so now we know what those were. After warrior priest attacks or controls, draw one coin from your bag and immediately use it to take any action. Alright, so we've got the cards. Oops. I like how the box has a little magnetic. AEG did that with Lovecraft Letter. So I thought that was cool. I like that. It kind of makes the box just a little bit cooler. So we've got the cards. We've got all of these units, which I'm actually gonna go through and fix later on, sort them out. So I was just kind of tossing them in. We've got the... let's do it this way. Got the game board. Game map, if we want to call it that. Then we've got the coins, the rules, as well as the unit cards. Got another baggie that we're going to put those coins in eventually. And that is what we find when we take everything from... Oh, whoops. How about putting the bags back, Jeff? I can see that this is going to be a game where you're going to have to kind of figure out the storage a little bit, because these tokens were pretty heavy. So what you may end up doing, let's take a look. I would say you probably just take this insert out. I would think that would just make life so much easier if you just do it that way. Put this in, pop that on top. Then you can have all of this stuff all fit in without any problems whatsoever. Because really, this insert was only there to hold the coins. So, yeah, there we go. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Interestingly enough, I'm going to be playing this tonight. So, yep. We're doing some gaming tonight. Elliot Miller's coming over by my brother's house. My nephew Cameron, of course, he's going to be gaming with us as well. And might have one of his friends come over, but we want to try out War Chest. Elliot wants to check out Everdell because I told him how much fun we had with Everdell, and I think he checked out the review I just did of it. And we're going to try to get in a game of Black Orchestra because Elliot has not played that. I keep wanting to try to teach him how to play Terraforming Mars, which is kind of actually segueing into the next item that I'm going to be taking a look at. But we can't squeeze all that in because Elliot's only going to be there maybe about 4 hours. So I'm actually going to get stuff set up ahead of time because we do have the luxury of a pretty good sized table that we can play at. So a lot of times when I know Elliot's coming over, I'll get there earlier and I'll actually set games up. So we don't have to sit, have a bunch of downtime. In fact, it is possible that I have mentioned that we're going to do the Extra Life. I almost said Second Life. I don't know why. It's Extra Life. Do the live stream again this year to benefit Extra Life. And I'm thinking we're actually going to try to do it from my brother Greg's house. So, because nice big table, really good internet. Because when we did the stream last year, which we had a blast with Julia Hearn from Greenbrier Games and a bunch of other friends of theirs, we had a really good time. But we were actually on kind of like a hotspot, so the stream was kind of spotty. So we are talking about doing that. So yeah, so pretty cool. Anywho, before I jump into taking a look at Terraforming Mars Prelude, as I move that out of the way, I want to let everybody know what's coming up on next week's shows. So because Monday is a holiday, I'm like 99.9% sure I will not have a show. Now, if I find that I got absolutely nothing exciting going on, that I might as well just do a show. So I will give everybody a heads up on Twitter on Sunday night if there'll be a Monday show or not. I mean, it's possible like you can go camping. I might go kayaking. I might sit around doing nothing. I have no idea just yet. But next week, so let's assume there's no show on Monday. If there is a show on Monday, then just move up Samurai Jack Back to the Past to Monday, and then I'll do something else on Tuesday. But on Tuesday's show, I am going to unbox and take a first look at Samurai Jack Back to the Past from USAopoly. This has the pre-painted minis that look pretty cool. And if you're a fan of Samurai Jack, you're probably going to want to check this out because it is based on the storyline from, I want to say the final season or the 5th season of Samurai Jack. I'm not super familiar with the TV show. I think I've seen the cartoon a couple of times in my life. I liked it. I thought it was kind of cool. I just hadn't, seen a bunch of episodes. So I'm kind of curious how good this game is going to be for someone who really doesn't know a lot about Samurai Jack. So a little curious, but it looks sweet. I like the pre-painted minis. They look pretty nice. So I want to get a closer look, see if they look as nice up close and personal as they do in the photos. Then on Wednesday, it's Wargame Wednesday. I'm still up in the air. If I can get another game of Cataclysm in from GMT, I'm going to do a review of that. Otherwise, I'm going to do a review of Fort Sumter, the Secession Crisis 1860 to 1861, which is also from GMT. So one of the two of those, like I said, all depends if I can get another game of Cataclysm in with Cameron this weekend. Then on Thursday, I had a poll. I had people vote what they wanted to see me do a review of for Thursday's RPG, and the people have spoken. It's Overlight from Renegade Game Studios. So I did page through this. I did take a deep dive and first look at this. So you may want to check that out. It's got very unique artwork. So I have only read a little bit of this. So I have not gotten through it. That is one of the things I'll probably be doing this weekend is finishing reading this. So that's on next Thursday's show. And then on Friday, I'll be reviewing Tiny Epic Zombies from Gamelin Games. Kickstarter backers are starting to get their copies. I believe this is scheduled to hit retail in October, so just in time for Halloween. And this is another title we're probably going to get at least one game in of tonight. Maybe not with Elliot. Maybe Elliot, because Elliot only can hang out for so long. But Cameron and his either one or two friends, it'll probably be Cameron. So there's my nephew Cameron, and then there's his friend Cameron. Then there's also Kyle, there's David, there's Alex. I'm leaving somebody out. I forget. Oh well, sorry whoever I'm leaving out. But those are some of Cameron's friends who are pretty regular members of the gang as we play stuff. So that's what's coming up on next week's show. Not show. Anyway, do want to mention also that I did check out the Lord of the Rings The Living Card Game Early Access. That's out there right now from Asmodee Digital, as well as Fantasy Flight Interactive. Kate Lawler is my contact with Asmodee Digital, and she actually shot me a review code to check it out. And I'm impressed so far. I remember playing the Living Card Game, the physical card game, 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. I mean, that was a game that was one of the earliest reviews we did on the Gaming Gang. And I thought it was fine. I thought, I thought it was okay. At that point in time, it was like, there were no expansions and stuff like that out there. But I have played around with the tutorial, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, because there's adventures, and there's voice actors, so then there's sound effects and stuff like that. I was like, hey, this is pretty neat. One thing that was weird, though, is after I finished the tutorial and I kind of built my deck, I was like, okay, I'm going to play the campaign, the first adventure, and it wouldn't load up. And I was like, the heck's going on? Now it's early access, so I understand. You know, I'm not sitting there going, what the? So it's early access, but I guess it turns out that Asmodee Digital and Fantasy Flight Interactive decided they were going to unlock, because it was only like the first adventure of the campaign. I think it's like 5 parts. They unlocked the whole campaign. So I think they just did that last night. One thing that's interesting is Lord of the Rings: The Living Card Game is free to play. Now, there are microtransactions in there, of course, and I did get set up with one of the founders' kind of level tiers, you know, but it is free to play, so definitely download it and check it out. You can download it through Steam, and I'm really looking forward to messing around with it some more. So, of course, I only played a little bit. It's an early access. I'm not reviewing anything, but I did find it pretty cool. All right, so next up, I'm going to take a look at Terraforming Mars Prelude from FryxGames and Stronghold Games. Expansion is designed by Jacob Frixilius. I think that's how it's pronounced. With artwork provided by Isaac Frixilius. It's a family affair. And why am I getting... Hey, it's supposed to be one slide, man. What's the deal here? That was supposed to be pulled out. Duh. No offense. Hey, I like Stone Mirror games, but we're not talking about Stone Mirror games. All right, so anyway, this is an expansion for Terraforming Mars. So you do need to have Terraforming Mars to play, but you do not need the first 2 expansions in order to utilize Prelude. Of course, the core game, Terraforming Mars, is for 1 to 5 players, ages 12 and up, and it plays in about 90 minutes to 2 hours. Prelude is available right now, and it does carry an MSRP of $19.99. Now, I did mention that Terraforming Mars can take about 2 hours to play. Now, my understanding is Prelude is going to actually kind of help cut down on some of the playing time. Not, I'm not positive if it will or not, but I do believe that's kind of what, maybe not necessarily cut down on the playtime, but it's going to ramp you up faster. So I think that is the main thing that's going on, is you're going to ramp your game up faster. So as you can tell, this is not a big, huge expansion. In fact, I believe it's just mainly cards, I believe. So on the back it says, as the mega corporations are getting ready to start the terraforming process, you now have a chance to make those early choices that will come to define your corporation and set the course for the future history of Mars. This is the prelude to your greatest endeavors. In Prelude, you get to choose from Prelude cards that jumpstart the terraforming process or boost your corporation engine. There are also 5 new corporations and 7 project cards that thematically fit the early stages of terraforming. This is an expansion to Terraforming Mars. Prelude is played together with the main game and may be combined with any other expansion and variant. Okay, so I already kind of slit through some of the shrink wrap. I really enjoyed Terraforming Mars. I gotta be honest, when I do break it out, I tend to have to play solitaire because now Cameron likes it, but it's a little heavier than he sometimes prefers his games. Which I don't know why. I have no idea why. Because to me, I don't think Terraforming Mars is difficult to understand. You are juggling a bunch of stuff. And a lot of times, if you decide you're going to, let's say, okay, so my main focus is going to be getting that the temperature up. Well, yeah, you can have that be your main focus, but you can't have that as your only focus, because once that temperature reaches the spot where it's got to be, once you've achieved that those one of the 3 victory conditions, right? The end game conditions, I should say. You're gonna be stuck if that's what your whole engine is built on. And I think for some strange reason, I think Cameron and his friends have little difficulty kind of wrapping their head around the whole. Because when they don't focus on something, then they tend to lose. They tend to lose anyway, but So they kind of think that I'm just like pulling their legs, sort of. By telling them you can't just focus on one aspect. All right, so we've got this. It's a piece of paper. That's all we got here, folks. So it says setup. During setup, you're going to shuffle the 7 project cards into the main project card deck. There's a little icon that'll indicate that it's from the Prelude expansion. We've got the Prelude cards. There's a wild tag after being played. When you perform an action, the wild tag is a tag of your choice. Playing solo. Okay, so I had to take a look at this because I tell you, I had to play solo. Although, and you'll notice when I go back to like the big screen where my big old mug is here, I do have Terraforming Mars in my car. So it is in my car because like I said, I really want to try to teach Elliot Miller, my best friend, voiceofe.com, Terraforming Mars. It's just, he's like Cult of the New, like everybody else, right? He wants to, I want to check out Everdell. Oh, I heard about Black Orchestra. I want to check that out. He's like, oh, yeah, that's right. You've got Tiny Epic Zombies. So, anyway, all right. So, talking about playing with the, playing solo. TR solo. Okay, so that's it. That's pretty simple. All right, let's see what we've got as far as the cards. There we go. I was going to say, Stronghold usually does a pretty nice job when they put the little pull strip in their games that contain cards, so they become easy to open up. Okay, so here we go. We got some new corporations. We've got Point Luna. The moon is a perfect springboard to the solar system, and the mining company Point Luna has the largest spaceport on Luna. Robinson Industries. Zhongxing Mars. I should have worn my National Geographic's Channel Mars shirt, because I'm waiting for the second season of that. I really liked the first season. I wish it had been more than 6 episodes. We got Valley Trust. What is this? Bankers? Community of technological entrepreneurs join forces to invest in space exploration. So I've actually, read stuff. Well, I should say more like listen to audiobooks and stuff talking about, going to Mars. And it's funny how there are different groups where some groups think that, yeah, we should actually end up going to the moon first and having a moon base and using the moon as the jumping off point for going to Mars. And then there's other people who are like, no, let's just go to Mars. We don't need to create a moon base, because of course the first thing going to Mars are going to be robots. All right, so okie doke. So we got house printing, lava tube settlement. Yep, there you go. That's one of the things they talk about, is that the settlement will probably be in a lava tube when the humans arrive, because you have to utilize that to protect the settlers or explorers, whatever you want to consider them, our new Martians, from radiation. Got a Martian survey. Psychrophiles? Oh, wow, that's cool. Cold-loving bacteria preparing the ground for the new ecosystem. One of the things I really like about Terraforming Mars is it is based in science. I mean, it is not just goofy silliness. All of a sudden, we discover the lost Martian realm. Science fiction memorial. Oh, wow. Okay, let's see, who can I name? So we got Isaac Asimov. There's Arthur C. Clarke. I think up there, I think that's supposed to be Ray Bradbury. But I'm not sure who this might be and who that might be. Yeah, that's Arthur C. Clarke. That's Isaac Asimov. I think that's supposed to be Bradbury up there. Sweet. That's nice. I like that. And then Space Hotels. Sweet. Yeah. Space Vegas, baby. Space Vegas. What happens in Space Vegas stays in Space Vegas. Okay, so we got all the Prelude cards. Okay, so then the rules mentioned they'll see a little icon, and man, that is a really little icon right there. See that little pink icon? It's showing that this is part of the Prelude deck. So we've got Allied Bank, Aquafire Turbines, Biofuels, Biolab. So as I mentioned, the Prelude expansion is supposed to kind of like jumpstart the game, Biosphere support. And I don't mind the build-up in Terraforming Mars. I'm sure some people are kind of like, yeah, I wish we could jump into this a little bit quicker. Dome farming. Donation. Hey, I'll take a donation. Early settlement. Ecology experts. Eccentric sponsor. Yep. Yeah, let's just burn that money. I'm burning that money. Experimental forest. Galilean mining? I'm not sure what Galilean is. Big moons of Jupiter are great for mining. Okay. Great aquifer. Huge asteroid. IO Research Outpost. Can I get a loan? Martian Industries. One thing you'll notice is in the expansions to Terraforming Mars, we start getting more consistent artwork than in the core game. And that was, to me, it's not a knock on Terraforming Mars. It's just, I don't know, it's just, there's some artwork that's a certain style, and then there's some that's just like, almost like, I don't want to say clip art, but kind of like public domain art. Got nitrogen shipments, orbital construction yard, Polar Industries. So what I'm basically saying is, and I don't know if this will ever be on the horizon, or if this is something that Stephen Bonacore will think about, or if he's bounced the idea around already. I would like to see kind of like a deluxe edition of Terraforming Mars. And it's possible that Stronghold could package it, Stronghold and FryxGames, I should say, could package it where it's, the core game and the first 3 expansions, right? And then maybe kind of up the ante as far as the component quality with those cubes a little bit, and maybe kind of just take the original game cards and just kind of make it kind of like a universal art style. Because, like I said, as I've seen some of these expansion cards, now this is the only expansion I've actually got for Terraforming Mars. I don't have what was it? Venus Next, and blah 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 and blah blah blah. But like I said, I've seen some of the cards from the other expansion, and like I said, they have a consistent art style, which in the original game it does not. But I do have to point out, Stephen Bonacore, I'm sure, didn't know Terraforming Mars was going to become such a huge evergreen for Stronghold Games. He knew it was a good game, don't get me wrong. Steven's not, Steven has his finger on the pulse of everything that goes on at Stronghold Games, which isn't necessarily the case all the time with people who run gaming companies. Amazingly enough, I know people will be like, what? But that is true. So he knew it was a good game, but I guarantee you he was completely taken by surprise that Terraforming Mars took off as well as it has. And I jokingly said to Steven during one of our interviews, I want to say it's our Origins interview, that he's like the grandfather of all, or father, I guess we would say, of all these Martian games that are out there now. He really is. I mean, if it weren't for Terraforming Mars, you would not have all these Martian games out there. Anyway, so we've got the various project cards. We've got the various Prelude cards. We've got the new corporation cards. We've got the little one pager here. It's kind of a sheet there. Kind of explains those. Really nothing. They're just going to go right on in. And that is what we find when we take everything from Terraforming Mars Prelude outside the box. So, of course, I should point out that I will have a review of both War Chest as well as Terraforming Mars Prelude in the very near future. Prelude is available right now, as I mentioned before, and it does carry an MSRP of $19.99. All right, so there you have it. That's today's show. Hey, almost filled an hour. See, now you can see why I wanted to kind of do a double dip today with Prelude as well as War Chest. See, this is super light. I picked this one up. It's a little heavy. So, because otherwise the show would have been, if I had done one or the other, you're looking at like a 20-minute show. And I don't like doing shows that short. I feel bad sometimes when I don't do an entire hour, because I like to shoot for at least an hour. But anyway, I will be back on Tuesday, maybe Monday. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, be sure to follow the Gaming Gang on Twitter and you'll find out. Hey, by the way, if you're watching and you don't subscribe, if you like the Daily Dope, by all means, it's a little subscription. So anyway, just thought I'd throw that out. Anyway, so on Tuesday's show, or Monday, if I decide to have a show on Monday, I will be unboxing Samurai Jack Back to the Past from USAopoly. I'll be unboxing it and taking a first look. Okay, so as I mentioned, that is it for today's show. When you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel at YouTube, be sure to go visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. Come on, by now you know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. All right, so I will be back next week. I'll be back next month, I guess I can say. Womp womp. So until then, if you're here in the U.S., have a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Enjoy the holiday. Have a very safe holiday. If you're outside the U.S., have a great weekend and don't work too hard on Monday. Anyway, and as always, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks again for watching The Daily Dope, presented by The Gaming Gang. If you like this episode, be sure to give it a quick thumbs up. And if you dig the channel, please subscribe. If you'd like to check out our previous episode, click right here. And if you want to check out a somewhat randomly selected episode, give a click right down here. It'll be like opening a box of Cracker Jacks. You just don't know what you'll get. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'm Jeff McAleer.